Hello friends, in this session we are going to take up another SQL nested query question, and this one is from GATE 2008. So again we have a situation, we have a school student scenario in which we have four tables or four schema, and the schema are student schema, then school schema, enrollment schema, and exam result schema. So the attributes are given over here, and they've not mentioned the primary keys since none of the attributes are underlined. So we assume that we do not require the primary keys to be known in this situation, and the query is given to us as this. We have, this is a very important question, so please pay attention. So we have select SCH name, which is I assume school name, comma, count star. So why I assume it as school name? Because it is firstly in the school schema and it is more or less an acronym suited more to a school in comparison to a student schema, right? So I assume it to be a school name. So select SCH name, comma, count star from school C, enrollment E, exam result R, where E dot school ID equals to C dot school ID and E dot exam name equals to R dot exam name and E dot roll number equals to R dot roll number and R dot marks equals to 100. So these are various conditions, if you can see. And the way it has written, select this and this from this is this, where this is this. So it basically means that it is joining all these three schemas on the basis of these three conditions. And if you can see, all these three conditions, four conditions in fact, you can say all these three conditions, they are on the basis of which it is selecting, it is joining these three tables. They are of equality type, so it can also be named as an equi-join, right? But then it is also giving some extra conditions, and due to these conditions we are basically going to get a subset of the complete set of equi-join tuples. Another important thing which you can notice over here is that it says that R dot marks is equals to 100, that is fine. Plus it also says that S dot school ID is in this. So this is a subquery that we need to process, or a nested query form of question. So we need to solve this inner query first, and then we'll eventually get the final result. So if we see the inner query, what does it say? It says select school.id from student, group by school ID having count star more than 200. Now if you just pay attention and you look at the student schema, what does it have? It has school ID, school roll number, S name, which is student name, and student address. So now if I just perform a group by operation over here on the basis of school ID, what am I going to get? It says select school ID from student, group by school ID having count star more than 200. So it is going to group all the students on the basis of their school IDs, and then it is going to count the elements in each of the groups, and it is going to check if the count is more than 200. Now just think about it, that what that group of elements will represent. Obviously it is a student schema, it is going to represent the information about students, the S name, S address, so on, right? Because they are going to group all the student names, etc. On the basis of the school ID. Everyone belonging to the same school ID is going to be grouped together. So that means it basically means that they're going to select only those school IDs from the student table where the number of students are more than 200. Hope this is clear. I'm going to repeat it again. It means that they are going to select the school IDs from the student table where the count of the students is more than 200. Right? So all the schools having more than 200 students. So we won't say that at least 200 students. We will say that all the schools which have more than 200 students in them. And we are going to get their school IDs. And the outer query is just considering those schools. So it is just considering those schools which have more than 200 students in them. So now let's pay attention at the outer query. It says select school enrollment exam result. So it just concentrates over these three relational schemas. School enrollment exam results. Now let's just match the conditions as we get them. It says where e.school_id equals to c.school_id. What is c? C is school. So it says e.school_id enrollment.school_id equals to school.school_id. So this matches with this. Right? So it is just basically a, what would we say? A natural join? Yes, it is a natural join since none of the other attributes match, and now over here it has specifically been stated in that manner. So wherever school IDs match, they are going to group those records. They're going to select those records. And then next, what does this say? They say that e.exam name equals to r.exam name. So the exam name should be same. So the exam should be same over here, for which what we are taking? We are taking the marks to be 100. So basically all the tuples, right? All the tuples where r is equals to 100, and we have joined these three tables. From those, and school ID is in this. That means all the schools, only the schools where students are more than 200. What are we selecting? We are selecting their marks wherever the marks are 100. Wherever the marks equal to 100. Right? And what are we finally presenting to them? We are presenting select SCH name, school name, comma, count star. And finally we have group by school ID. So for every school where number of students are more than 100, this comes from here. For every school where number of students are more than 200, we print the school name and the number of tuples where we get the marks equals to 100. Is this clear? Again, I'm going to repeat. For every school where the number of students are more than 200, we are going to print the school name and the number of tuples or number of records in them which have marks equals to 100. Right? So, if we just imagine the scenario, because there were two confusing options in this case. If we imagine the scenario, is it telling us the number of students who score 100 marks in at least one of the students? No, it is not that scenario. Why is it so? Because a student may take more than one subject, right? And let's suppose a student takes two subjects, and in both the subjects he gets 100 marks, right? So now in this situation it is going to count both the records and not one of them. Whereas if we were saying that it selects the students who get 100 marks in at least one of the subjects, it should have counted it once. So the correct answer in this case is B part, which says that for each school with more than 200 students in it, the name of the school and the number of hundreds scored by its students is printed. So that's all for this situation. I'm going to meet you with some more questions in the next session. Till then, stay tuned and all the best. Thank you.